All right, guys, I hope that everyone had a wonderful weekend. If you are in my Orange Day classes, so third and fourth block, don't forget that today is an asynchronous day because all the teachers will be in meetings. So I'm just going to go over pretty much what you guys should be working on. Today's assignment shouldn't take you too long. We only have 9 questions, and it's the editing section. So you'll probably end up needing around between 25 and 30 minutes, I think, to complete the entire thing. Um, I'll be I'll be brief. We've already gone over the strategy when we worked on the revising section last week, so I'll go ahead and get started. As y'all can see, we have 2 days that we're going to work on editing, and then we have one more where we're going to work on fiction. And then next week we'll have our interim test, which will be over all the sections together. Don't forget, I'm also going to give you an opportunity this week to improve any grades, right, of any of them, pretty much any of the assignments that we've done in the past. So please do make sure they all read your email that I will be sending you. I'll be sending you an email shortly. Okay, so for the editing section, you will always get 9 questions. It's always 9 questions, right? 9 questions on the revising section and 9 questions on the editing section. You'll have 2 passages to read, and it's 13%. So, again, this is a section that we typically do well on. So, I'm pretty sure they all are going to do well. But as I always tell you, don't rush through it. Just make sure that you think about every single question that they're asking you before you make that decision at the end. Your assignment, I'm going to go ahead and go to Schoology actually, so y'all can have a look at it. These are the things they all have. For the attendance, don't forget to mark yourselves present, obviously, over here. And then the second thing to go ahead and open is the editing part 1 PDF, which will be this one right here. And then the actual assignment, which will be this one right here. As I said earlier, 9 questions, you'll get 1 attempt. You already know what they look like, right? So it's been the same. You'll just have the 4 answer choices. Those are your 9 questions right there. For the actual strategy that I would use, we already went over this, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it one more time. So this is the first passage that you have. As you can see, they're always approximately 2 pages long, right? This one's a bit longer just because of the pictures. And then you'll have a number of questions on that one, just 4 of them over there. And then you have your second passage titled Vote for Me. And then you have 5 questions over this one, right? So 14 through questions 18. The type of questions that you will get on the editing section, just so y'all can kind of get an idea. Look at this one. What change, if any, should be made in sentence 2? And you'll have these, as you can see, so you're pretty much just fixing sentences, right? If you look at number 11, how should sentence 5 be changed? It will give you an option most of the time where it tells you no change should be made, just like you can see as well with this option right here. Okay. Look at number 12. What is the correct way to write sentences 23 and 24? So it's about joining sentences, right? So that's mainly looking at fragments or run-ons. That's what they typically give you over there. For number 13, what change, if any, should be made in sentence 30? Again, you can see that no change for option D. And then for the second passage, what change, if any, should be made in sentence 2? Again, you can see that one of them is always no change. 15, what change should be made in sentence 13? And you'll kind of see options where they'll tell you to delete a word, or they'll ask you to delete a word, to add punctuation, possibly a spelling mistake as well. Okay. Number 16, how should sentence 15 be changed? And again, we're going to talk about this when I'm back on Wednesday and Thursday, because we'll have a second editing lesson, and I'll go over some of the most common mistakes. But with this first one, I really want to see what y'all can do without any real instruction here about this, right? Just a bit of guidance with what to do, but not too much information, and then we'll see how you perform on the second one. Number 17, what change should be made in sentence 22? Again, punctuation, as you can see, word choice, and then verb tense over here, right, if it's in the present or the past, and then no change. And then finally, question 18, what is the correct way to write sentence 26? When they give you these kind of questions, have a look at punctuation, how they're starting each sentence. So look at this. So option J, sentence 26 is written correctly in the paper, so no mistakes here. So if you just focus on F, G, and H, look at how it starts off. So in closing, comma, in closing, comma, in closing, comma. Now look at the second part of it, right? The second clause. I give you this solemn promise. I give you this solemn promise. So everything's the same for F and G. The only difference is that it ends with a period here, and then there is a colon. And then this option H is structured differently. Now, again, have a look at what's similar between these two. If you look at G and H, if you elect me as president of the sophomore class, look at H. If you elect me as president of the sophomore class, comma and comma, I'll give it my all. I'll give it my all. So as you're using your process of elimination, think about the following. So these two, G and H, are identical, right? In this first part, identical, exactly the same. So now you got to look at what's different, right? What's different in the end. So you have in closing, I give you to give you the solemn promise. That's the only difference between G and H, because everything else is identical. So you got to read these really well, understand which one you think is possibly correct and which one is wrong, and then try to figure out if this is a viable option, pretty much, right? Okay. So again, don't rush through these. Like I said earlier on, this section should be pretty straightforward. But like I said, I want to see how you guys are going to do by yourselves before I give you some instruction on Wednesday. I'm going to work on a pair deck as well to try to make it a bit more interactive and fun. But let me go ahead and stop right here so you guys can start working on it. Just like when we're in class, I always try to give you at least between 20 and 30 minutes of synchronous time to work on this. So I'm going to give you pretty much the same amount of time right now. I would probably recommend that you spend about between 25 and 30 minutes on this. Don't forget, don't just read the sentences in isolation. Okay, so don't just read the question and then just go to sentence 2 and answer it. Make sure that you do read the entire passage first, okay, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you all to comprehend what the entire passage is about. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. Y'all have fun. I will see y'all on Wednesday and Thursday. Have a wonderful day.